Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Try the Goulash. This is Blake.
This is Alex.
And it's your boy, Willie.
And like I said, we appreciate you tuning in again for another week of us talking in your ear.
Thanks.
I want to say before we get into the topic that so with podcasts and all social media and everything, everybody wants subscribers. Everyone wants the like button. I'm not really concerned about that. But I've done some thinking over this last week, and what I would appreciate, what I would encourage you to do if you want to, is leave some reviews. Leave a review, leave a comment, give us some feedback, because that is like tangible and we can work with that.
Such as, hey, that kid Alex needs to quiet the fuck down.
Yeah.
He's always yelling and my ears are bleeding.
Anything like that would be like, that is more appreciated than a like or a sub, like a sub.
Don't say that though, or you're a
Give
fucking dick.
us input is what Blake is saying.
Give us some input. Even ask us questions. If you ask us shit, we might bring it up in the podcast and we'll give you a shout out. Like, just give us some feedback. So I think the beauty of this whole project is that we can interact with our audience. Like, there's no barrier there. You guys can talk to us and we can talk to you. So fucking do it.
And we would too. We would interact because we don't have lives.
Yeah, we all live with our moms.
We are desperate for attention and all of your energy. So please,
Or are we?
say something.
Are we, you guys?
So,
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said, the topic this week is summer. It's summertime. We're going to talk about summer. It's hot outside.
Wait, it's summertime in the U.S.
It's we're in
Elsewhere.
In the Western Hemisphere, in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Northwestern. What is it? What's the quad
Geography.
version of Hemi?
Oh,
There's hemisphere.
I don't know.
No, hemisphere is like half of the world. What's quarter of the world? Like, what would you say like U.S. and Canada is?
We should just say quarter of the world.
In the northwest corner of the world, if you're looking at a standard map,
It's hot outside, everybody. It's
hot.
warm
Yes.
where we live.
It's like 100
and,
degrees.
The thing about where we live is the humidity.
right?
Missouri and Kansas, it's just awful because...
It's moist.
And I've actually told, or have been told, that like Missouri heat is so much worse than like Arizona, like 110 temperatures.
Right.
Just because that is like such a dry heat. Whereas there is so much moisture in the air in Missouri that you just sweat that much more.
Yes,
and it's just miserable.
Like Will said, I don't know where you're listening to this podcast at, but where we live, it gets hot here, but it also rains a shitload, and it makes everything really steamy. It's like a wall. You can't breathe. If you go to like Arizona, like Will was talking about, or Australia, it's like a dry heat. It's still, well, actually, I read an article this week in Australia that they had to stay off this main highway because the tires of cars were melting.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
the pictures were crazy.
They were
If you
insane.
haven't heard about this story, go look at those pictures.
Just type in Australia 2018 tires melting.
Yes, that's all you need to do. 'Cause
So yeah, maybe we don't have it so bad. But it's
We'll bitch about it.
fucking hot. It's hot here.
well, the thing that really sucks is let's say today, I think the high for today was like 97. Well, with the heat index and the humidity, all of that put into matter, like temperatures feel like over 100, and that's fucking bullshit.
I don't know.
It's
Bullshit, Mother
90.
Nature.
It's
I don't like
96.
it.
It's 96 degrees, but really it feels like 110 degrees outside.
I don't know.
So stupid.
I don't know the math. Like, I know it's accurate because I feel it, but I don't know how they come up with that.
Feels like
Yes.
this is the actual temperature, but it feels like this.
I'll just give you what our temperature is.
We're panning over to our meteorologist, William.
And now to Willie with the weather.
Heat advisory until Friday. It is 100 degrees out right now. Holy shit! It's almost 6:30, guys. PM.
So if you haven't gathered what we're trying to say is it's summer, it's hot outside.
It's hot.
Yeah. Summer. Well, that's just like the first thing that comes to my mind when summer. It's
when you
just
think
like,
of summer, you think of heat.
it's gonna be hot, and I don't know. The past 2 summers have been miserable, boys.
I feel like this is the hottest one we've had in a second. Like there was no spring. It was like, bah!
Yeah.
I mean, it was 90-something degrees in like May.
It was shitty.
So it's been hot is what we're trying to say. In this podcast, we're talking about all things summer, everything to do with them. What was your first summer job, guys?
Oh.
What was your first summer job?
First summer job?
Mowing lawns.
How old were you?
Young. My brothers were in high school. Peter was in one of my brothers, my middle.
How old do you think you were?
Oh, he was probably, I would say like
I didn't get my first summer job
8
until
or 9.
Oh wow, you were young.
8 or 9?
That was helping my brothers cut grass.
Damn.
That's young.
Get to work.
Dude, I was like staying indoors and playing Nintendo at that age.
Well,
yeah.
Peter's 8 years older than me.
Yeah, you were the baby of the big family.
He probably had his lawn mowing business 16, 17, I would say.
So were you just
like
getting
9.
guap?
What happened?
No, he paid me really shitty.
Oh.
Was your parents like, well, get a job, or were you
No,
just
no,
like,
no,
I want to
no.
make money?
No, it wasn't any of that. So my brother had, I guess he had his own lawn service company, and he probably had, I would say, like 30, 40 lawns.
Okay.
Holy
And when
shit.
he would just get really busy, he would just be like, "Hey, Will, can you come help me?" And
That's cool.
he would pay me
Dude, I'll
like,
pay you like $2. Come
But
help
see,
me.
the thing
he
is,
would pay me like maybe like $15, $20
but
for like
$20
helping.
at a 9-year-old is
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh,
you're
my
like, I'm buying this country.
Yeah,
You're
but
just,
that was
super
like,
excited.
I would say I would work like maybe 3 hours at like the least amount of time. So
I was 15. I already turned it up a bit. I was 15 when I got my first job. I didn't want to get it. My mom...
Is that at the country club?
No. I was 14, 15. I think I was 15 when I got my first job.
Parks and Rec?
Yeah. And my mom was like... I don't remember what happened. I think it was when I went into high school. It was like the first summer in high school. My mom was like, well, you're in high school now. You got to work. And I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't want to work. I just want to like run around all summer like I have been. Anyway, I got a job at Parks and Rec. I was selling like hot dogs and stuff at a concession stand.
You were selling them. You're making it
dogs.
sound like you're just like...
yeah,
A
are you a
salesman.
salesman over here, dude?
Yeah, I would travel around to different ballparks and I would pitch
I would.
my
They-
product.
So kids would come up and give you money, boys.
You see, these ballpark franks are not just any wiener.
Get your hot dogs.
The bun caresses the wiener so
Ooh.
to where you don't have to do anything. It chews itself, folks. Buy my hot dogs. Mustard only.
How's done?
Are they kosher hot dogs? Like,
Yeah.
were they?
No, they definitely weren't. They were like
Big intestine.
Yeah.
they were like we'd buy them in bulk of like 200. They'd be coming a big.
And it was like $5.
Yeah, it was gross. So that's what I did, and I've worked like I worked every summer after that until I graduated college. My sister, she turned 15. My mom gave her the same speech, and Holly was just like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And I was like, "Damn it! Why didn't I think of that?"
All she said was no.
Yeah,
So clever.
Yeah, like my mom told me I had to do this. I was like, I gotta do this now, I guess. And then Holly was just like, no.
No, I'm going to keep mooching. No, you're going to keep working and I'm just going to not do
Yeah,
shit.
and I was like, damn it. I should have done that. So that was my first job. What was your first job? Summer job, Al?
Well, I was like Holly. No, not really, but kinda. I didn't even have my first job until I was at least driving.
Okay. I mean, that's
So
not.
I think I was 16,
That's only a year past me.
and I would do like summer camps.
Okay.
I'd be like a counselor for summer camps.
That's easy.
Miss Arthur's
That's kind of fun.
summer camps. I did that like junior and senior year.
I remember you doing that, actually.
What else did I do? I mean, I was drawing a little bit, probably.
Like
it had to been
commissions?
sophomore year. Yeah, I did my first commission, I think, sophomore year of high school. So I did like a couple of those in the summer of sophomore year. But that was the summer that Ian would
Come over.
pick me
What we're
up.
talking about. I should explain this to the audience because I just assume everyone's listening in the United States, but I shouldn't think that way. So it's kind of tradition here in the United States. You go to school for like 9 months out of the year. You get out for the summer. It's 3 months that you're not in school. And typically most people like work and then quit, it's like a 3-month job and you go back to school. That's like how it works here. Yeah.
It's funny. We can talk about that a little bit. How summer has changed, like since we were a kid. Because when I was in school, and you get those 3 months off, it was like
amazing.
it was huge. You were just like,
It was a big
fuck
deal.
yeah. Because I mean, even if you were just working the whole time, it was like, well, I don't have to go to school, and you just got to do whatever you want. And the weather was nice or whatever. But it's not like that anymore.
Guys, this is like this is a very relatable feeling. Like I know everyone's had this feeling and it's such a good feeling. Do you remember like being in school before you had to work for the summers and it's like the last day of school
Oh my god.
and you everyone's just in like a great mood and like the summer's coming and you don't have to go to school anymore. It's just like
It's a good feeling.
oh my god, that was a great feeling. It was just like I'm free.
It's like a Christmas day.
Yeah, it seriously did feel like that. It really did.
I wish I could like lose myself in that emotion.
That was a really, really good feeling. But that's fucking gone.
That's
Bye.
a
Now we
shitty
work
thing.
every day for the rest of our lives.
That is the shittiest thing, and I always tell like people that are still in college, don't just like enjoy those fucking breaks. 'Cause
Yeah. No,
Christmas
You got-
break.
yeah.
It's a
Christmas
month
break.
long.
Yeah.
Christmas
college.
break was nice. So, again, it's tradition in the States. In college, when you get to college level, there's a summer break, but typically everyone's working in summer break. But then there's a winter break, and the winter break is usually a month long. And people still work winter break, but it's not as common kind of thing. Like, I think we did.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't have a job during school, so because I was taking like 17, 18 credit hours because I didn't bring any credits in, but I worked every spring break, every Thanksgiving break, every Christmas break.
Never
at
worked
McDaniel's.
spring.
Yeah, I worked alone a few times.
You
Blake
guys-
and I worked together.
Speaking of spring break, you guys never went on a spring break trip, did you?
I didn't. Not
I
like
don't
a
think
during
I
the
did.
school year,
I
like
did.
spring break.
You did?
Yeah, I went
What'd you
skiing that one time.
Oh,
with
yeah.
I don't remember that
Schweifels
at all.
and Johnson and Johnson and
Johnson.
Vic
Not-
Daddy.
That would be fun.
Not a sponsor. Johnson.
That's the thing. I would love to go like skiing in the
was
spring
fun.
because there's probably not that many people out there.
Part of me, like, for those of you that are in college, go do something because, number one, it's fun making memories with people in college, like all your friends, obviously, but it's just like something you'll be able to look on.
Are you
or
talking
look
about
back
taking
on.
a trip?
Don't go.
Yeah, just like
Don't
even-
go to. Don't go to PCB though. Like, don't do that shit. Just go like on
Or
a trip.
do. I mean,
with your
who
friends.
yeah,
gives a fuck?
just do something that will be, I mean, just a memory in general.
My this didn't really count as a spring break, but like my summer spring break trip was honestly when we went to like Myrtle and Augustine. That was
Yeah,
like
that was like a summer thing,
That
though.
was it was summer, but like
were fun.
that was that kind of like college spring break trip. That was like Augustine for me, because we just
It was a blur.
See, the thing is, though,
Well, Augustine.
for me, like spring break, whenever we would get like a week off or whatever to go, that would be the opportunity to go on spring break. That's whenever I worked, and I worked all of those breaks so that I wouldn't have to have a job during the school year. Like I would
Right.
just save up. I would just work my ass off during that week when I could, and just save that money for, party favors or whatever in college. And to me, it was worth not going on a trip because I just was able to have a lot more freedom and fun during the school year.
It was fun. And it was nice to have downtime, too. What did you guys do in summers before you had a job? Like, give me, like, old school summers. I feel like all of our answers are probably going to be the same. Like, we all probably just, like, sat inside kind of thing. But, like,
No, I did
I
not.
don't even know.
sit
I did.
inside.
Holy jumping.
I can just talk a lot about this just because
Go.
I remember it. But during my summers, I was not a kid who played. I mean, I played video games, but those were like generally later at night. During the day, I had one of my best friends lived literally like maybe 75 yards from my front door.
So you guys were just always running
Yeah,
around.
so and he had
That's
a younger
fun.
he had a younger brother, and then yes, it was Cole. Shout out to
Is that
Cole.
B?
No,
No,
Cole
E.
A. Cole
Okay.
A.
Oh,
I know who
A.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
guy's funny.
Haven't talked to him in a hot second. I hope you're doing well if you're listening, but you probably not.
Yeah.
But
But if you are, give us a comment.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, dude? You remember
Yeah.
freshman baseball? That was cool.
yeah,
You
but
were nice to me.
so I hung out with him. We rode a shit ton of bikes. Like
That's, dude.
we had
That is it.
we had mountain bikes. we
Never-
had
never had that.
His brother had a BMX bike.
That's
We
awesome.
did basically everything, and it was awesome.
That's so cool.
My neighborhood was like the streets are really wide, and it's not super like a high traffic area.
Oh, yeah, baby. East
So
side.
it was just like fun to ride around the neighborhood in a gang. And there was another girl that went to my grade school and high school that lived across the street. Leanna, yeah. She moved into the neighborhood, I would say around like fourth, fifth grade. Yeah. But I mean, during those times, they were fun. Everyone was athletic, so we would always play like sports or.
God,
it
I'm
was
jealous.
just like it was super fun.
I'm
because
jealous.
I had 3 people in my neighborhood that were around my age, and on top of that, if like one of us had friends over, we would all fucking have a heyday. And this just reminds me of summer is night activities. We would play
Ghosts in the graveyard and
hide and go seek, flashlight tag.
Yep.
I never had any of this.
And the best thing was my neighborhood. We had the lots of the houses were pretty spacious, but most of my neighbors did not give a fuck about us like hiding in their yard.
That's awesome.
So we had like I would say
You had great summers, Will. This sounds amazing.
We would have like 6 lots that we could like hide in potentially. So rounds of hide and go seek were so long, just because it
That's
was
awesome.
such a big area.
Dude, this is off topic. So I played my fair share of hide and go seek. I guess I did play this kind of stuff in the summer, but it was at like babysitters and stuff like that. Anyway, did you ever get the hide and go seek peas?
Yes,
Like,
you would just get like a little dribble
Like it would
coming
be,
out.
it would be so intense, but you couldn't move, and you
Yes.
just like had to pee so
that
bad.
this may just be me, but I felt like when I'm hiding.
Will said a little dribble would come out.
Yeah, what? It's like next level.
That was me.
Just go
But
pee, man.
I should have.
Whip it out. You're a man.
The funny thing is, when I'm hiding, I feel like I'm breathing so fucking loud.
No,
Like, is that
everything
just
gets
me?
No, I had
It's
that
just
too.
heightened.
I had that too.
Okay, Darth, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
No, I had that too.
So, I mean, there was one other activity that I really remember. So, there's like a little hole in the wall in our hometown. It's called Daisy Delight,
Oh God, yeah.
and they
Oh,
have like
West Side.
yeah, this is East Side.
Isa.
They had, I would say, the best hamburger in our hometown.
Dude, I never
They have
had
a
their
special
burgers.
sauce.
See, I only got ice cream.
Their special sauce. Oh my gosh!
same.
Yeah.
Go get a cheeseburger with their special sauce. Oh, one of the best.
What was the base of the sauce?
They won't tell you. I don't still know, but it was like a sweet ketchup. Like it was like ketchup with like, I don't know, like a sweet and sour Heinz
creme.
57. Like I don't. It was very weird, but it's very sweet. I think maybe a little bit of barbecue sauce, and it's like tangy.
Sounds good.
But they also have great ice cream.
Yeah.
Great
really
ice
They
cream.
good.
do. It's good.
And we would ride our bikes. It was a mile to go to get to this place, and then a mile back, so 2 miles. If you can't count. But we would have ice cream, and we would just like go in the middle of the day and just have ice cream. And oh my goodness, they have it's basically a blizzard or a concrete, but their name is a glacier.
I don't remember.
What's up with all these names?
They have the
the
best
glacier, the blizzard, the hurricane.
I'm a big fan of Reese's peanut butter cups. They make the best that I've ever had. They put
And if you don't think so, fuck you.
yeah,
Better than
if
Fred's?
better than Freddy's. They put so much toppings in this glacier of ice cream, and it is so good.
Dude, you're taking me back because
Yeah.
Natalie and I would.
Natalie's
get-
Al's sister.
That's my sister. Shouts to Big Sis. We would just go around the house and like collect change, and we would save money up. That was back in the day when like $1 was a big deal. And we would go down there and get like a small fry or an ice cream cone, or they had what were those things called? It was on a stick, and it was like a dilly bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like
I
the
had jelly
chocolate
bars.
covered.
It's
dilly
like
bar.
DQ.
Yeah, it's like DQ, but it was
It's basically like a
it's just like a chocolate
dipped-
covered.
it's like a
ice cream
dipped
circle.
Yeah,
ice
it's like
cream
a-
circle.
Yeah.
It was
That's
like
frozen for a little longer than
yeah,
just
so
like
would
you
you
put it
get
in
like
your
a
mouth
dilly
and-
bar or like an ice cream cone? God, those were the days. Because we were closer. We were the St. Louis Road.
yeah.
We were like less than a half a mile away from that place.
Well,
So that's my
had,
summers.
I had very different summers than both of you. If I wasn't playing video games until oblivion, I was doing some weird stuff. You might say my parents were protective, but you probably should just say they were paranoid I was going to get stolen or something.
I wouldn't take you.
Parents, well, I would go to like a babysitter's when I was really young during the summers, which was fun because I like got to interact with all these kids, and it was always like a family friend. Like it wasn't like an actual company babysitter, so like it wasn't like as strict. Like we would just play outside and stuff. But when I got older and I didn't go to the babysitters anymore because I could stay home and I wasn't working, I would just like waste away inside. I would like play video games all day. And then like me and my sister Holly, Will's having an asthma attack.
Excuse me, guys.
Me and my sister Holly would like get bored. We would get so bored. Oh, Will, call 911.
Oh, God.
That's why they call
Will,
me Sneezy.
Will,
Did people call you that? Or?
Yeah, my dad.
I've never called you
calls
that.
me that.
I've never
Sneezy. Because I used to wake up in the morning and I would sneeze literally like 6 times in a row.
What's up, Sneezy?
I won't dwell much on this. I'll be very brief. But me and my sister would get insanely bored. Like the boredom is off the charts during these summers between being done at a babysitter's and not working. So we would do things like I would go out in the backyard and like sharpen a stick and chop the heads off of dandelions. That was a nice summer pastime.
What?
With me, we would collect cicada.
What do you mean?
Like I would sharpen a stick and then like there'd be dandelions and I would like That's like what I
You
did.
like cut them like
It's
a
like what I
katana?
did for fun. Yeah, dude, I was a weird kid.
Modern
And then, hang on,
day
here's a side
Link.
story. Here's a side story. I was doing that one day. This was like the summer before I started working. So I was probably like 13 or 14. So I was like kind of older, and I was bored as hell. I was at my dad's house. My parents are split up. And I went outside, and like I was doing that because I was so bored. And like around like 13, you still kind of have like little kid imagination, but not really. Like it's starting to fade. So like I still kind of had it. Anyway, I was doing that in the backyard, and these two older kids were riding their bikes by, and they saw me doing it, and they stopped and they laughed, and then I went inside.
You're one moment in your life.
So if I wasn't
sad.
it's super sad. So if I wasn't playing video games or like attacking dandelions, me and Holly would like collect cicada shells. Like it was just
I love that.
It was just boring as fuck. Like I just didn't have the like gang of bikes, kids. I didn't do any of that shit. I wish I had. But I made up for it in high school. I got into some mischievous shit. But those were my summers.
Yeah.
Interessante.
I want to ask both of you. Blake touched base on like playing video games. My parents, did either of your parents like come over from lunch?
Yeah.
Like during the day?
Yeah, both of mine would.
They would come home, and if I was like playing playing all video games, playing my PS2 in particular, when I
They
was
get
young,
on your
they would be
case.
like, "Get the fuck outside! Like, get out of here! Like, you
That's
need
awesome.
to do something."
That I wish my parents did that. My parents were like I said, they were like protective, like paranoid. So like if I was playing my video games, they'd be like, "All right." But if I was out in the back cutting heads off dandelions, he'd be like, "It's too hot, get in there." And I'm just like, "Let me go."
Oh my gosh.
But,
I'm gonna.
it wasn't that dramatic.
Yeah. Do either of you want to touch base on?
I just
summer
want to
again?
say one thing, and it's because Blake brought up the dandelion thing and the sharpening of this stick. One of my favorite things about summer as a kid, and this is fucked up. I had one of those big wiffle ball bats that was like the big barrel. You know what I'm talking about? Like the orange bat or whatever. And I would just take that thing. This sucker was like 4 or 5 inches in
It was
diameter.
a big boy.
I think I
Like,
know
it
where
was,
you're going.
It was
here,
a big
Al.
one, and we would have like lightning bugs and stuff in our yard. And I would just tee off, dude. I would
thought you were-
see it from far away, and I'd run up, and I know where it is.
Oh,
and
God.
the point of this game was I would wait until the light was off
I
of
would,
the lightning bug, and I'd swing and I'd smack it, and as soon as I smacked it, it would light up, and it would just be like. It was awesome.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
sadistic as fuck, but it was
I did
awesome.
yeah.
I did that. I did it for like one summer, and then I felt bad. But my dad had a badminton racket, and we had like a problem with carpenter bees in this tree. And I would like,
Oh,
I would
shit.
just nail these carpenter bees. I'd
That's
be
a
like,
bad idea.
Yeah, okay.
Bad.
I would
bad
drill.
idea.
Well, carpenter bees don't sting you, but like,
But bees in general.
I mean, I would never do it with like a typical American like honeybee. That would be bad news.
See,
But the carpenter bees are like fat. You know how they're like fat?
Yeah.
It was like, "Ptum."
That's the best part is the
was-
sound.
I thought
It's
you were-
like, "Dong."
That's what I thought. I thought you were gonna say like cicadas or something.
No, I would
I
catch
feel bad. I'm sorry. Shout out to the bees. I'm sorry, bees.
I would catch cicadas to fish with, but
Yeah,
I liked the lightning bugs because I would catch them, and I would take their shiny butts, and when they would light up, I would like pull it off. I'd pull the butt off as it was shining, and I'd just rub it on my skin, and I'd have like these tribal marks on my skin that
This
were
is
glowing
like
in the
Lord of
dark.
the Flies
No, it was
shit.
awesome because I would do that, and then we'd play Ghosts in the Graveyard, which is basically hide and seek.
We've already covered this
Tag.
in a podcast.
Oh, we have. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Ghosts in the Graveyard is like hide and go seek tag, and I would have my like tribal battle marks on my
That
skin.
sounds
with
badass, but I feel bad
lightning
for the
bug
lightning
butts.
bugs.
I also used to pull off the butts of ants when I was in daycare, like when I was like 4. I would just other kids would be playing at recess, and I would just sit by a big tree and let the ants crawl onto my hand, and then I would just take them and rip their butts off, like live.
Just so everyone's
You're
aware,
awful.
Al,
Seriously.
he's not a serial killer yet, but we're keeping eyes on him. You just never know.
Yeah,
This guy.
It's whatever.
seriously.
No, I feel like that's a lot of little kid things. Like I had a lot of friends at daycare that would like pull the butts off of lightning bugs and put it on their finger and be like, "I got a ring." It would be like lit up.
I'm married.
And
Someone
I'm just
loves
like,
me.
Oh my god, yeah, all that shit.
Funny. Well, I'm just going to ask this next one.
Oh,
And it's a memory of my summers, and it's regarding chores. Did your parents make you do chores? Like, did they have a list when you woke up for chores?
Yeah, they did. It wasn't like my parents never got super intense about it. Like, I don't know if they ever had maybe I think a couple times they would like leave to go to work and there'd be like a list on the fridge or something like that, but that was like rare. But it wasn't anything more than like take out the trash and occasionally mow the lawn when I was older. That's like all it was. Like nothing really more than that. I was a lucky kid. I just like Nintendo all day.
I don't.
Al?
They didn't have like a list, but I definitely had like my responsibilities, and Natalie had hers. Like I was in charge of the dishwasher and the trash.
Okay.
And like obviously, if the house was messy and my mom was having a party, I would have to clean it up. It was pretty fair stuff. Like I never felt like I was overworked or stressed as a kid with chores. Like every time my mom would tell me that I needed to do something, I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no. And I'd always get it
get
done
free
right
food.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always
no,
be
same.
I'm gonna
right
knock
after
this shit out.
breakfast.
Same.
Well, I always had a list.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, when I have 3 brothers, and the closest brother to me is 5 years older than me. So, growing up throughout
See you,
grade
Phil.
school and basically just grade school, Philip and I always had a list from my mom. Sometimes they were like big jobs, like clean the blinds, the worst job out there. Bad job. We would literally have to get like a washcloth,
That's
a
just tedious.
warm little bowl of water with soap, and we would have a rinse bowl as well. Yeah, sucked. But we would have just kind of like odds and ends, like take your pile up. Pile as in pile of clothes. That's what my
Pile of shit.
yeah.
You shit on the floor. You gotta pick that up, mate.
We had a clothesline in our backyard, so a
had
lot
one
of
of
the
those too.
times my mom was always telling us to put the clothes on the line.
Would she dry them out? I mean, that's what she
Yeah,
would do,
she would
right?
just dry
Did
'em
your
out
parents
there.
do that, Al? Was that like a 90s thing?
At my St. Louis Roadhouse, I did.
They
We
would
had
just
a-
dry them outside? Was that a
Yeah.
90s thing? I mean, I know it goes way past, like, before 90s,
Yeah.
but, like,
I mean, people definitely still do
People-
that.
was-
If I had a clothesline, I would use it all the time.
hell yeah.
Number one, there's nothing like a great, like, let's say you
like a
wash your
sun-dried?
Yeah, you wash your sheets and like you just come in and it kind of just smells like outside, but you get a little bit of the laundry detergent.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, great. But
That is a good smell.
Warden this thing.
You know what?
So-
Freshly cut grass is a
that's
smell
a
like,
good.
that's like a good
I only
smell,
like
too.
freshly cut grass right when it's like the peak of the spring.
Yeah.
like when
It's like a nice
you're
smell.
like
Like
first
when you
starting
first
to
have
cut
to
it.
do
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Ooh, it smells so good.
But in the summer, it's like a nuisance. You're like, fuck that.
Well, you don't really smell it as much
don't.
because, like, right now our grass is dying.
Yeah, it's
so
like bogged down in a drought.
Speaking of smells, summer smells, like, I don't know.
Those are...
Campfire.
Oh, that's a good
I
smell.
guess that might be
Honestly,
fall,
my
but-
favorite like nature smell is like fall time stuff.
Yeah.
But there was when I was little, the ice cream truck guy that would ride around. He had like
was it a truck or was it a van?
it was a van.
Yeah.
But dude,
were
I feel
vans.
like this van was like a diesel van or something. It had a really weird smell when it drove around. But yeah, bomb pops all day.
Bomb pops, great.
It's a good ice cream. Did you guys? I would either get bomb pops or I would get like you would have these like specialty ice creams. I have to like beg my mom for these because they were like $2 more. It would be like Mario or like Sonic,
SpongeBob.
Yeah, or SpongeBob, and it would have gumball eyes, and you would unwrap it, and the face would be like all fucked up, like it would be just it'd be like distorted.
That's not what's on the picture.
Yeah, Hills Have Eyes, so Mario.
Good. They were like sherbet
SpongeBob.
little pops.
It was good times. Good times.
Speaking of popsicles, that is like a pastime memory of mine. I was the popsicle.
Did you have a van that came to your neighborhood?
Machine. No, yes, we did have a ice cream van come to our neighborhood on occasion. It wasn't like regularly like. It was just weird.
Remember.
What a weird profession.
Yeah, he probably just did it on the side and make a little extra cash. But
He probably sold
my
drugs.
parents would get, or my mom would get the Pop Ice.
Oh yeah,
What's
those little
that?
sleeves of
Yeah.
just the flavored ice.
Is that
Yeah.
like
the tube?
With the
Is that like
plastic.
the flat and you
Yes.
like push?
Yeah.
And at the top, it was like I got those occasionally.
Dude, those
Oh
were
my
money.
gosh! I would.
Those were always
guys,
fruity.
Listen to this. Yeah, it was always fruity. I would eat like 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah.
I would just cut the tops off, and I would just start with one flavor and just go up. And the thing was, I would finish 2 before a normal person would finish 1.
We'll just be
Yeah,
like deep
shooting
throating the popsicles.
Yeah.
You should be like, oh, yep, that's one. Give me another.
The funny thing is, some of my like neighbors, when they were kids, and this girl is probably, I would say,
Yeah.
7, 8 years older than me. She still remembers me like coming up to her house and eating popsicles on their kitchen counter,
Just
because-
swallowing them by the foot.
because they had a dog that I hated named, I think it was Scotty.
Scotty.
But Scotty was a little fucking vixen and would bite and shit.
Ooh, Scotty. You know,
my-
Scotty's probably gone.
Actually, Scotty doesn't know.
Don't tell Scott.
Don't tell Scott.
No. But yeah,
you guys ever
that
have,
was a little tangent on popsicles.
Did you guys ever have, speaking of summer popsicles, did you ever have just those generic ass ones that everyone had? The like long tube ones that like literally everyone had? You buy them in a box of like 200.
That's
That's
what
what we're
fucking
talking about, you idiot.
what were you thinking
Jesus.
of?
I'm thinking of the ones
God,
that are.
fucking amateur hour over
Dude.
here.
We've been talking about it for the
Team
past
Al,
5 minutes.
fuck you, Blake.
Hey,
what are you doing
For
with your
my
life?
sake, I
What are you
described
doing?
a different popsicle, and you both said yes.
You said
Well, we
plastic little push thing.
Okay,
yeah,
listen,
that's
listen.
what you do,
I'm gonna
bud.
describe this. Round top comes down to like a point. So it looks like a wedge you would put to
Oh,
like stop a
those
door.
things?
Yeah, okay.
Nah.
At least Al knows what I'm talking about.
I know what
Listen,
you're talking about.
Listen,
Those are
I'm
like,
team.
Those
I'm
are like
team.
the frozen.
Yeah, they'd be like
lemonade
actual
shit,
fruit
yeah.
in there. I'm team whatever the fuck you guys were talking
Popeyes.
about. I'm team Popeyes. I'm on your team. I'm just saying that's the one I thought we were talking
Okay,
about.
well, since you brought it
And
up, those things, those
real fast,
wedges.
real fast. The wedges, I thought we were talking about, and Will was like, I would eat 4 real fast. I was like, he really was like down in those deep throat in those things. Yeah, Popeyes,
Popeyes.
dude. Okay,
Popeyes, I'm right.
What I would do, dude.
Tell me I'm right, damn it.
I didn't think you were wrong. I was just confused.
I'm kidding, babe.
With the Popeyes, you know what I would do at my babysitter's because we'd always get Popeyes.
I bet you were one of the kids that would let it melt and just drink it all.
I hate that.
You're
I
an
hate
idiot.
people like
Dude,
you.
I would do it halfway.
dude.
I would
Now-
let it melt halfway.
I disagree.
And then you put your lips on it and you would suck it up and it would come up like the sides like 2 straws.
I can
Yeah,
appreciate that,
yeah.
but to purposely wait for that, fuck that. I'm trying to chew that ice.
The thing,
I'm eating these things when it's like 100 degrees out. That took no time.
yeah. The thing is, if you had 4, by the time you're on your last one, well, by the time I was on my last one, there was a little juice in there, and every little one, every popsicle you get a little juice at the end.
So
It's
why
gonna
wait?
naturally melt.
Because I
Eat it.
liked the juice. What was your favorite flavor?
Blue.
It was
Hands-
blue.
everybody
Mine was
fought
blue
for the
too.
blue.
I'll tell you what though. I grew up This was probably when I was in high school. I first
would say
encountered
pink,
these.
guys.
Pink,
Strawberry.
pink was a
Number two.
close second.
And I like
Yeah,
green.
dude, me and Al
Green
were
was
on the
good.
same. Green was also
Blue,
good.
pink, green.
Blue was
Very
the best, though.
underrated.
Fuck the orange.
Did you guys ever have
Grape.
the mega pop ice?
Grape.
Grape was good. Did you ever have the mega pop ices? It was like
Those
double
were
the
silly.
thickness. These came out like when we were in high school, and they were like tropical flavor.
Was it like a mega bomb pop?
And
Or
there was
not
a
bomb pop,
there was a
blow
fu-
pop.
It was like no, it wasn't a blow pop. It looked like
know.
pop ice, but it was like thicker and like
it's
better
just a bigger
ingredients. And they made a pineapple one.
They make a pineapple one pop ice like regular, and I don't like, or it's like
Pass.
pina colada. No, not me.
Pass.
Tropical fruits like that, nuh-uh.
I
Don't
tell you
like
what,
it,
we would
don't like it.
fight over the blues though. There'd be like five. Some person would come out like a camp counselor or something in the summer would come up and be like, "I got 5 popsicles," and then be like one blue, and I would be like throwing punches before she even came up.
We
I'd be
would-
like, "That's mine."
Dude, I don't know why, but blue was like always the rarest. I like in everywhere you went in the 90s it was. And I remember being at my babysitter's, same situation. She would come out, she'd be like, "It's time for a snack," and bring out, and there'd be like 2 blues, and like she would hand them out randomly. And if I got the blue, I'm going to tell you what the fuck's up. You get a blue as an 8-year-old kid at a babysitter's
Run.
in the 90s. You either run or you got a giant fucking bargaining chip. Like,
Yeah.
I could be like, "Look, I'll give you this blue for your grape, but I get the whatever the fuck toy I want." Like that kind of stuff happened.
I'll give you the blue, but you gotta suck my dick.
And that's how I got my first blow
I'm done.
when I was 8.
Holy shit! It's all about the power of the blue popsicle.
But seriously, it was like a drug ring. Like I could be like, "Give me, you got any money?" And they'd be like, "I got 2 quarters." I'll be like, "I'll trade you for this.
Sold.
I'll give you this blue. You gotta give me that shitty green."
Shitty green. That's my number 3. Not shitty.
I'm just gonna ask another question. What has been your favorite summer pastime?
Oh, this is a good question.
I-
like all summers.
Yes, anything out of your summers. Like, what is
Okay.
one of your like fondest memories?
I could probably think about this for a while because I have a lot.
I can answer first.
You go for it.
So my favorite summer pastime is playing baseball.
Oh God, I knew
That
you were
was
gonna say
good.
that.
That
American
was good.
Legion.
Yeah, it was
Good.
just thinking about summer.
I'm gonna cry.
Makes me think about baseball. And the funny thing, baseball was like my favorite sport growing up as a kid.
I agree. It was
It
mine
was
too.
so much fun.
Gosh dang.
You can start at such a young age with like rules and stuff, and that was one of my favorite sports as a kid, like I said. But just
It was great.
the fact that you would have like maybe one
was
or
so
2
fun.
games a week during
so
the summer, it was something to look forward to. It was like on the days that I had a baseball game, like my dad would always be like, "You can't go swimming, Will. Like you're not doing it." And I just remember just having fun. I mean, I was pretty good, I would say, for baseball. So
He was alright.
It was good memories. I didn't
it was
play.
very fun.
He was only slightly better
And
than me.
the best thing was, and the after game treats.
Dude,
American
yeah.
Legion, like Al said, this was like early American Legion. You would get
You should tell the audience briefly what American Legion is.
so American
they're not, like, so
Legion.
confused.
I mean, they're all over the United States, obviously.
It's for
but
the kids that couldn't afford to play traveling
yes,
baseball.
it was.
There you go.
It was
That's
a
it.
step above recreational, like Parks and Rec baseball.
Yeah.
It was a little more competitive.
You had to try out.
Yeah,
Not everybody made it, but most people did. Like
Yeah.
80%.
I mean, I don't think anyone was really turned away. It was just like seedings.
Sorry, bud, you're out.
Just because I remember, because one year I did not have to try out because you could like
You could, like,
save.
freeze
yeah,
2
you could
people.
save
Yeah,
like
that's what I
3
did.
people.
I got out of baseball right before American Legion, but I played it my whole youth. And the summer before I stopped, I don't know why I quit. I don't know. I wish I would have stayed with it. But the summer before I quit, we had a big game coming up against a rival. I hit a in the park grand slam, and it was fucking magic. It was so cool. Oh god, that was a great day.
Dude, that was like my life. Like American Legion baseball back then, because when I was in like junior high or even middle school playing baseball, because we played baseball since like third grade, since we were like 8, and that was, I mean, I remember thinking when I was that old that that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to play for the Royals, and like obviously I didn't really understand that you actually had to put in a shit ton of work in order to be a professional baseball player, but I was just like, yeah, this is it. And nobody really played third base. Like everybody wanted to pitch or be like a shortstop, and so I played third base, and it was awesome because nobody, like any team that I was on, I just got to play because nobody really even played.
That's fun.
But it was just my position. I was just
always played.
What's up?
They
third
always
base?
put me on shortstop. I was always shortstop. It was fun. Favorite summer memories. I'm sure we're gonna end this podcast, and I'm gonna be thinking about this later and be like, "Oh, damn it, I missed that one." Mm-hmm. But the In the Park Grand Slam was definitely one. Just like a vague best summer memory. When I was growing up, the house I grew up in, our neighbor, we became like good friends with this neighbor in the neighborhood. So good of friends that my dad installed like a gate where our fences were, so we could like go back and forth. And me and my sister would like go over to Adam's house. If you're listening to Adam, I hope you're doing well. And Adam had this giant yard and trampoline. He had like the works. Like he had this huge fucking yard, this giant trampoline, this huge tree house. And like we would go over there and just like we had like the imagination of kids, and we would just like have a ball. So that was like just a good vague summer memory. But my favorite summer memory, I touched on this in another podcast. But when I was in high school, when I was 16, I took a trip up to Canada with a good friend for 2 weeks, and that's like my all-time favorite summerhood memory ever.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah, it was a great time. I could get into that now, but it's a long story.
Vacations, that's something that I feel like always happens here in the United States. Like during the summer months, vacations.
Typically, most families take vacations. Like we'll go somewhere. So
I know of like 2 family vacations that I've taken with my family my whole life.
Are you serious?
We did not do vacations. Straight up. My
I
parents paid for my
used to.
college, but we never got vacation.
I mean, that's nice.
Straight up. It just didn't happen. I went to Disney World when I was in 5th grade. And that's it. I don't even remember a vacation from my childhood.
Honestly, I kind of am in the same boat as you. I don't really remember a lot of vacations before my parents split, before they got divorced. I guess after the divorce, my mom and my dad were like, well, got to make these kids have, like, they were like in competition after that. And like we had vacations after that. But yeah, like from infancy to like 10 years old, I didn't really have vacations either.
Didn't. I mean, they would send me to like a summer camp, and that would kind of be like a vacation.
That was my,
like for a week.
God, that's one thing I missed. I never got to do that as a kid, and for whatever reason, I have always wanted to go to summer camp. I don't know why.
It's like, kind of magical.
It's like super romanticized in my head. Summer camp as a kid.
I know the summer camp that you're thinking of, and it's like you go for a week or whatever into the wilderness, and you sleep in a cabin
talking like
or whatever.
A lake with like a blob and like a cabin. Yeah, that's like super romanticized in my head.
I didn't do that. See, my parents were like, "We're gonna send you to summer camp, but it's got to be educational. You can't just have fun."
Oh shit!
So I would go. They sent me to college for kids, which was like
that's fun.
It
that's
was like
fun.
a little more expensive, but your day would be structured like you would have.
Explain what that is.
So college for kids was almost exactly like it sounds. We would spend like a week or 2 on a college campus, and you would sleep in a dorm or whatever.
How old were you? This is high school, right?
I went the college for kids in Missouri. You could go through, I think, 8th grade. It starts, I think, either 1st or 3rd grade. and then you could go for basically like 6 or 7 years. But I only went for 2 years because my parents couldn't afford it after that. But I went in 3rd and 4th grade, so I guess I was 8 and 9 when I went. Yeah, I was fairly young, but it was cool because I got to. It was a good social experience. But you would wake up and you would have a morning class that was like 3 or 4 hours long, and then you would have lunch, and then you would have an afternoon class. So you just signed up for like 2 classes throughout the week.
I mean, at
And
that
you would
age,
have,
it's like fun to like get away.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I mean,
like exciting.
The classes, it's not like it wasn't physics. Like the classes I remember, it was like Hawaii. I just took a class that was just about Hawaii. Like some Hawaiian chick was just teaching us about like all. Like I learned the state fish of Hawaii is the kumakumu napu napu apua. And we
Facts.
like learned about hula dancing.
Yeah.
And we threw a luau at the end of
That's fun.
of the year, and I was one of the 2 guys in the class, and it was kind of cool. Straight macking at 8 years old, and then another class I took was
Getting in that.
oh my god!
There's that cat again. Just is always hanging around. Where's that cat?
Jesus.
All right.
But seriously, that's my whole life. I was all about the ladies when I was in 8th grade. I don't know what happened. I was the man back then. I would, like, my friends would ask me, how do you talk to the girls? I was like, well, you just wear a sideways visor and wear cut off muscle shirts. That's it, folks. That's how you do it.
Dude, I had a visor. I would flip it. The cool thing to do would
Upside
be
down.
flip it upside down and
Spiky
backwards.
hair.
I've upside down backwards with a shell necklace.
With fucking frosted tips.
I had frosted
Hair
tips in
spiked
3rd
up.
grade.
Yeah, same.
I
You guys are
listen.
fucking
I frosted my
douches.
tips. My mom, so when my mom grew up, she like went into beauty school. She's gone on and done like a lot more since then, but that was like her OG thing. Anyway, one summer she's like, this frosted tip thing is like in like. And then I was like, Mom, I want frosted tips. So she frosted my tips really well. Thanks, Dot. You did a good job. I talked to a lot of girls in 3rd grade. But my dad is super traditional. And I remember I went over to my dad's house and he was like, what happened to your hair? And all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to like hear about this. And I just told him some flawless, soundproof 3rd grade logic. I was like, Dad, I've been swimming a lot this summer and this chlorine just dyed my hair. And he just looked at me and he was like, all right. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I know Jeff was like, that's a bunch of shit. Like, I know he knew now.
You idiot.
I know.
Yep. College for kids. That's what I did. I went for 2 years. It was great.
Did you do any fun vacations, Will?
Yeah, we as a kid,
We as a kid.
we as a family,
When I was a kid.
and when I was a kid, we would either go we would do a vacation typically almost every year. Some years we wouldn't, but we would try to go to like a warm area, like a beach, and then the next year we would go skiing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So that's how you got so good at skiing.
That's a
exactly.
good
That's
strategy.
Yeah. So you got like the best of both worlds. And it was cool because we also went to like Colorado in the summer sometimes, and that is just a different world.
I've never been there in the summer,
I mean, there's
I
a
would
lot
love
to
to see
do.
it.
There is a lot to do in Colorado during the summer.
I'd like to see it. I've only been there like in fall and winter.
But I haven't been, hell, I was probably like 11, 12 when I last was there during the summer. So
okay.
it was fun.
Cool, man. Nice.
Vacations. Yeah.
Summer.
Al, what are some of, you told me vacations.
I
What's your
Yeah, what's your summer memory besides baseball?
your fondest summer pastime, Blake? Not memory. Summer pastime.
summer pastime.
Which I guess is a memory.
I mean, baseball is definitely one. I especially liked playing a baseball game, and then I would come home and eat an entire Totino's pizza. It was like a tradition. Like I would play a game and just come home and eat it.
Hands down, probably one of the best cheap pizzas you can
Oh
get.
god, $1? Can't beat
So
it.
shitty.
I think Jack's
but-
is the best. Please sponsor us,
No,
Jack's.
fuck that. I'm not
Are
trying.
you
Jack's?
shitting me?
Totino's over
Jack's.
Jack's any day.
Jack's is
For
like
the
a
price?
step above.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's a step above. Like,
Listen,
It's not
cheap,
worth the
cheap
price differential.
If
Like you
we're-
can't beat $1.
Jack's is
$1
good.
for a pizza is good. Jack's is like $3. That's triple the amount. I understand how Tostino's prices.
It's not triple as good. I guarantee it. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because if you're gonna spend $3, why not just
Hamburger
spend
Jack's pizza.
like
I'm gonna
$6
say.
on a Papa
No,
Murphy's?
hamburger Tostino pizza better.
You guys have not had Jack's
Ja-
hamburger pizza.
I've had Jack's. Jack's has great pizzas. Probably my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, Al. I'm going Team Blake here.
All right.
But Tostino's, you can't. Their crunchiness of their crust, you can't go wrong.
And it's just so easy to eat a whole pizza.
But I
Just because Will threw me a bone, I agree. You're right.
Tostino, it's just like the best, cheapest pizza is what I'm saying. It's not my favorite.
Oh, by far.
By-
Like, if you're going budget, Tostino's. For sure.
Yes.
Well, it's Totino's. Tostitos is chips.
Totinos.
For sure.
Totino's.
Toes,
Yeah,
toes,
Totino's.
nose.
Tostinos.
Yes. Toes,
Tostinos. Summertime and living CC.
Oh my God.
Tostinos.
Fish are jumping.
Did either of you?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Let's still get throw back to the Oasis. That's
No.
like top summer. That's like
Let me.
when I think of summer, it's the Oasis.
Here's Blake again,
Oasis.
fucking interrupting
I'm done.
me.
I'll hang up my mic. I just
That
got excited.
song reminded me of a great childhood video game, Dave Mira. Did either of you?
Oh,
play that
skateboarding
game?
or is it
No,
biking?
BMX, bro.
BMX, yeah.
Nope.
Oh my gosh! Back for the PS2, that song was on there. So good.
Sublime.
Never played
Yeah.
it.
Sublime. Ben made me
Isn't
a
that
Sublime
song called Doing
mixtape.
Time?
Yeah, summertime / doing time. Ben made me a mixtape of Sublime, like an Essentials
I
Sublime
remember you
playlist.
telling me this.
I think it was senior year of high school. And
to it all the time.
no, he gave it to me like right before the school was out my senior year, and I was super late to the game with Sublime because obviously like Bradley had died long before that. But Ben showed it to me.
Don't do heroin.
I heard
Yeah, don't do that, guys. Pool Shark, listen to that song.
Yeah.
But anyway, he made me that mixtape, and I listened to it every day that summer. And so now, anytime I hear any Sublime song, it just puts me right in summer. It's like my summer anthem.
I
is
used to
Sublime.
always listen to Doing Time when I was coming back from the Berg for the summer. That was like the first song I put on the drive back.
It's a good one.
That's good. The Oasis. That's the hidden.
What's the Oasis, Blake?
The Oasis. So Will's family owned a farm,
No
and
longer own it anymore, though, sadly.
but yeah, it sucks. But when you did own it, you took the 4-wheeler all the way to the back. Beautiful, beautiful
It
fields.
was a mule, right?
Yeah, it was
All right, you little fucks. You took
Kawasaki mule.
You took a transportation device all the way to the back.
It did have 4 wheels.
It basically, let me explain this,
Yeah,
because this is my
please.
fucking, it was my property. No, it wasn't my property, but
I own this
yeah.
place.
So my grandpa farmed this land. He developed a road that went from their house.
What year is this? I'm just joking.
He from
skipping
the house all the way down, like through his crop fields. You would have to cross Honey Creek.
Nice.
And you would go to another road, and which would eventually open up to another field that you would harvest. And at that field, there was a little road that went up this hill. Up this hill was the chalet, which in German means a little like cottage, little shack.
Tiny house.
It was like a very small, just a little hut. Had 2 stories. The loft was where the beds were, and the basement or the main level had just like a stove, a kitchen table, the essentials.
What's the square footage? I want every detail.
Okay, but at this little chalet, we also had a pond, and you were basically in the woods. Just imagine yourself in the woods,
and like you just totally separated from everything.
You see this little chalet, and it is just beautiful. And then you see this pond.
There's a clearing. The sun comes down through the top. You're surrounded by trees. Will would take us there in high school in the summers, and we would fish. And we just had some great memories there.
Yeah.
I cried there.
We deemed that place
the Oasis. We deemed it the Oasis. It wasn't, just for the record, it wasn't a bad cry. It was like, I'm so happy cry.
It was a euphoric cry.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yes. That is summer. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us and listen to us reminisce. We'll talk at you next week. Your homework for this week is to give someone a hug.
And floss.
And give us some input.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're listening, be the first person. Fucking step up. Use this technology that we have now called the internet and engage with us. Okay? Alex just got $50, guys!
Al's buying ice cream for us. Fuck! It's $100. He's really
$100 in my phone.
Alex really buying us ice cream.
That's awesome.
Right, so
I don't even care that it's hot as balls.
You guys are all beautiful.
All right.
I hope you enjoyed this.
Love
week.
you. Love your neighbor. Goodbye.
Have a good rest of the week.
Goodbye.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.